Good morning and welcome back to our class. I'm so happy you're here today. For today's lesson, we are going to review the meaning of the word equals. So before we start learning about what equals means, first you need to know what the word amount means. So an amount is a number of items that we have. So the amount of items that we have here are 1, 2. We have 2 apples. So we would say the amount of apples that we have is 2. Here, I see this is telling me that I have 5 buttons. So the amount of buttons I have is 5. Let's look at this picture. To find the amount of granola bars, I need to figure out the number of granola bars that we have. I see 1, 2, 3 granola bars. That means that we have an amount of 3. So let's get back to the word of the day, equals. So when we say something is equal, we say that we have the same amount. Let's look at apples, a number of apples that are equal. So on this side of the equal sign, I have 2 apples. On this side of the equal sign, I have 2 apples. 2 is the same amount as 2, so I can say the number of apples I have is equal. Let's look again at buttons. I have 5 buttons on this side of the equal sign. I have 5 buttons on this side of the equal sign. 5 buttons is equal to 5 buttons because I have the same amount of buttons on both sides. Now let's look at silly putty. So I have 4 silly putty on this side and 4 silly putty on this side. I can say that they are equal because I have the same amount or number of silly putties on both sides. All right, now let's look at our Nutri-Grain bars again. I'm going to count up how many I have on this side. Help me count. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so I have 3 Nutri-Grain bars on this side. Now let's see if the amount we have on the other side is equal or the same as what's on this side. So let's count. 1, 2, 3. Is 3 the same amount as 3? Yes, it is. Because 3 is the same as 3, we can say we have an equal number of Nutri-Grain bars. Now we are going to look at amounts that are not equal to each other. If they are not equal, that means we will not have the same amount on both sides. Let's see what that looks like. So, on this side of the equal sign, I have 2 basketballs. On this side of the equal sign, I have 1 basketball. 2 and 1 are not the same amount. Because I don't have the same amount of basketballs, the amount of balls I have are not equal. Now let's look at some toy cars. It says here I have 6 cars on this side. On this side, I only have 3 cars. I don't have the same amount of cars on both sides, so the amount of cars I have is not equal. All right, let's look again at some silly putty. What amount of silly putty do I have on this side? Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 silly putty on this side. Now, let's figure out if we have the same amount of silly putty on this side. Let's count. 1, 2, 3. Are 4 and 3 the same amount?